We're here with Bears Chairman George McCaskey. Very eventful off-season for the Bears. You've now had a few months to spend with Phil Emery, your new general manager. How would you assess what you've seen thus far?
Well, we like what we've seen. One of the things that impresses me most is his leadership skill, because the general manager is more than just a talent evaluator. He's the leader of the football operation, and he's got to get everybody to buy in to where he's trying to take the club. So we've been very impressed with that. Very detailed guy, very meticulous, and of course results oriented. So we'll see about the results.
He's already had an eventful first few months, bringing in Brandon Marshall, the first draft. What's your analysis of what's being done on the player personnel point of it?
Well, I like that he's been aggressive but prudent. Brandon Marshall was the big acquisition that made the big splash, but he's also filled out the roster with some quality special teams players like Eric Weems, wide receiver, can also return kicks, a couple of the linebackers and so forth. So he's overhauling the roster from top to bottom, and that's good to see.
What about the draft? Because everyone kind of talked about the draft last few years, going back even further, as perhaps not producing what the Bears wanted. What did you feel as far as what came out of this draft for the Bears?
Well, we like what we've seen so far. I think Chicago's going to love Shea McClellan. He's from a little town in Idaho, population 1,000. He's got a great work ethic, great motor. He's been a great teammate so far already. And I think people are really going to take to this kid. Going
into training camp, you're going into your second training camp, new front office, same coach. What are you hoping to see going into this training camp?
We want to make sure everybody's healthy going into camp, and everybody's on the same page, and building team chemistry, coming together as a team for a common goal, and that's to win a championship.
You talk about wanting to have a nice, very solid training camp. How concerned are you that the Matt Forte situation could impact kind of the cohesiveness of that training camp?
Matt's been a great player for us. He's been the consummate pro. We're trying to reach the middle ground, and we've got until shortly before training camp to agree on a long-term deal.
Do you expect that? Do you expect that something will happen in that regard? It hasn't happened in the last couple of years, and how do you feel as far as his feelings if it doesn't happen?
That's entirely in Phil's hands, because he's the general manager, and my job in that situation is to stay out of Phil's way and let him get it done.
Given all that's happened in the offseason, hiring a Phil, bringing in some players, also Jay Cutler being healthy again, what kind of expectations do you have going into 2012?
The expectation every year is to win the Super Bowl. We had a good record last year until we had some injuries. We weren't properly prepared for those injuries. We think we've corrected that situation. We think we have a very talented team. You saw what happened last year. The Giants had lost 4 in a row. They were 7-7. They barely made the playoffs. They got hot at the right time, and they're Super Bowl champions. You have to get in the playoffs to make hay. So that's our first goal, to make the playoffs. The best way to make the playoffs is to control your division and win your division. That's what we're shooting for.